Anyone else sick of GrandLineReview? GrandLineReview, Try Not to Clickbait Challenge, Impossible, bring back the old GrandLineReview, all posts sharing the same sentiment that the most popular One Piece creators' best days may be behind them.
He's behind me, isn't he?
But is that true? Liam with the GrandLineReview went from being a full-time theater worker who became jaded towards his craft and doing YouTube for fun to an audience of under 100 views a video, to a multi-channel mogul earning over 500 million views. And with all these eyeballs, he rakes in over 200k a year from ads and sponsorships. But through his rise to a fleet commander of a combined 1.5 million subs, the Australian YouTuber has made many enemies, but smoothly navigated his way through a plethora of controversies and critiques, and some not so elegantly. You are talking out of your impossibly gaping anus. Welcome back to Pirate Diaries. Today you will learn about the rise of One Piece's most successful YouTuber, how he did it, and the many controversies that could lead to the end of his piratey career. One of the things that makes GrandLineReview so successful is the pure bingeability of his channels. Each channel only focuses on one singular topic, not just a niche, but a singular topic, hyper focusing on super fans who will consume as much content as possible about their favorite IPs. And with similar link videos, thumbnails, and Liam's ability to find new, fun, innovative ways to capture his audience attention, it's no wonder his channel has seen consistent growth since it first caught steam and became favored by the YouTube algorithm. And given he's replicated this channel's success on several other channels, it's fair to say this wasn't an accident, but by design. And with so much YouTube prowess, you would think Liam's always been a YouTube wizard, a prodigy that started from an early age, but this isn't the reality. The journey of GrandLineReview started on January 11, 2015. Previous to the creation of his first channel, Liam had no aspirations of becoming an internet celebrity. In his own words, he admitted that throughout high school, he never really knew what he wanted to be in life. He felt he couldn't relate to his peers. As he went to a private school, all the other students had their entire lives laid out for them by their parents. So in a school of people gunning to be lawyers, doctors, and politicians, Liam felt unsure where his life was heading. The only thing he knew though was he didn't want to do any of that stuff. But one day on a school trip to League Theater, he realized he was having a blast. He thought, wow, that looks fun. Can I do that? So on a whim, he just decided his life's course. I still find this age quite impressive. He seen something he liked and he went for it. It may have been later than his peers, but I still don't know what I want to do. I'm still praying this YouTube thing works out. Since then, he admitted that this decision was completely arbitrary on what he thought would be fun at the time. After high school, he applied for a bunch of theater courses. He eventually got accepted in one for theater design. This school was about 6 hours from where he grew up. Liam spent the next 3 years learning about how to do sound, lighting, costume, and set design. He graduated and set sail back to his hometown and started his career. During his time at college, Liam had grew to love theater as a form of escapism, and he considered himself a professional escapist, building new realities to play around in. It wasn't too long before he found work. He said it was quite easy actually to break into the local scene because, as he put it, once you know one person in Australian theater, you pretty much have an adjacent connection to everyone in Australian theater. His first couple jobs were as a lighting designer, stage manager, and sometimes a technician, but later on he found steady work as a lighting programmer. Through Liam's time in theater, he actually cultivated an impressive resume, working at historical sites like the Sydney Harbour and Sydney Opera House, and some of the plays Liam worked on were very famous. One of the plays he worked on was the Grammy Award winning satirical musical The Book of Mormon. This play was composed by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. You may know them though as the creators of South Park. Now all of this sounds amazing, right? I mean, this is the pinnacle of what his career could offer, but that doesn't mean it made him happy. He did find theater rewarding, but also brutal. A lot of these plays took place outside, exposing them to the elements. Rain and harsh winds means broken lights and equipment, which resulted in extra work. On top of that, the work wasn't really consistent.
Theater is, well, it's kind of brutal because very rarely do you actually have a job. It's more like working as a contractor. You've got a series of gigs lined up. You might be on one show for a couple of weeks and then another for a couple of months, but very rarely will you be doing the same thing for more than 3 months in the Australian scene anyway, which causes a lot of anxiety because at any given time, you may or may not know if you're actually going to be working this time next month.
And because the work wasn't guaranteed, neither was the money. This led to Liam taking a lot of jobs he didn't really want to because, you know, adulting costs money, unfortunately. This harsh reality counteropposed his whole philosophy of choosing this as a career in the first place. He could actually feel himself losing interest. The feel of dread reaching its peak in 2015. Apart from this, he realized that things had stagnated at work. He had very rapidly reached the ceiling of what theater technicians technicians had to offer. There just wasn't room for growth. He noticed that the same people he was working with had been doing his same position for 40 or 50 years, and they were still making the same money he was already making in his early 20s, and that income wasn't a desirable future to him. I mean, it could pay the bills, but it didn't leave any room for traveling or other things he felt really ambitious about. And like poison from Magellan, existential crisis was seeping its way into Liam's brain. Then it all hit him at once. He was bored, and that wasn't okay with him. He had set out to build new worlds, but those same walls he was building became his prison cells. Most of the plays he worked on wasn't interesting to him, mostly just social commentaries that took place in living room sets. Every day felt more and more draining, so he started to fall back into his hobbies, things like anime, manga, and gaming. At the time, he was also watching a lot of YouTube, but he discovered he had a problem. His favorite show of all time was One Piece, but even though he was addicted to YouTube at the time, he really couldn't find any good piratey content. At the time, Naruto and Dragon Ball Z were the cool kids on the internet blocks, and One Piece wasn't nearly as large as it is now. It was still struggling to recover from the whole 4Kids thing, which, like Voldemort, I won't bring up again. This void of pirate content combined with Liam's thirst for a new creative outlet led him to make the GrandLineReview YouTube channel. He never really expected anything to come out of it. It was just something he was doing for the love of the series. He was actually shocked when people started finding his videos, and they was reacting positively. He couldn't believe it. He had stumbled onto a new way to escape, while also helping other people do the same and escape into his videos. He had a small community, but nothing compared to what he would have in the future. It wasn't until 2016 he even broke 100 views, and this didn't happen until he quit YouTube for a while, mostly from the lack of time and working multiple jobs. But once he came back after his short break, he noticed he had broken 1,000 views on several videos, mostly because of his SEO friendly topics and titles. Two series in particular was taken off: the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia and One Piece 101, both that detailed very specific topics in One Piece. Now this was perfect for helping people understand the complicated nuances of One Piece powers, and it was also great for recaps. So he came back full swing, putting in full-time hours into something he wasn't even getting paid for. He continued to do YouTube and theater until he felt like he was destroying himself. Having an unmatched work ethic doesn't describe the amount of dedication he was putting into doing all these things.
There came a point where I was working full-time on another outdoor opera, but in addition to that, I was also designing a show in another theater, and on top of that, I was making 3 YouTube videos a week. So my schedule was something like this. I'd wake up, I'd go to the theater where I was designing a show, spend pretty much all my day there until around 4 p.m, and then leave for my opera job, which was about 5 p.m. till 3 a.m. Because being outdoors, we couldn't really do much with the lights unless it was dark. So we needed to be there at really stupid times to plot. Now after that, I would go back to the first theater where I was designing a show, edit and post a YouTube video, and then fall asleep on one of their couches for a couple of hours before needing to wake up again.
Man, I got tired from just reading that, but this level of dedication and sacrifice is exactly what it takes to make it on this platform, and success still isn't guaranteed. Kinda scary, isn't it? Liam felt like the quality of his videos and his life was suffering because of his schedule. He knew he had to choose, but he couldn't just afford to quit his jobs altogether because, you know, bills. So he dropped the lighting design job because it took up too much time and it paid poorly. Ironically, he caught a break in theater soon after by getting a long-term gig on the aforementioned Book of Mormon. He found this play fantastic. He got to work with amazing people. His wife even got a job on the show. I mean, that sounds perfect, right? Well, no. It was actually this fact that this was the best theater had to offer, and he was still so damn miserable. He knew he had to make a change. He knew that if this play didn't make him happy, then nothing in theater could. He needed to be done. Throughout the year, he found himself giving less and less to his job and more to YouTube, finding every excuse he could to focus on YouTube, even hiding the write or edit while on set. By this time, he had garnered around 50,000 subscribers, and this was looking like it could be something. He soon after got accepted into the partnership program and was able to monetize his hard work, and after 3 years, his YouTube grind really started to pay off. So after he wrapped up the Book of Mormon, he quit his theater gigs altogether. It did feel risky, but he had good timing, because as soon as he started dedicating himself to YouTube full-time, the pandemic hit, which made several things happen. YouTube seen a huge spike in viewers. People were off work with more time to spend on YouTube. One Piece simultaneously was starting to explode in the West because of some high-budget One Piece movies. It also helped that in general, anime was becoming more mainstream. I even had a few friends who have been putting off One Piece for a long time actually started because they finally had the free time. And because One Piece can be more complex than your average shonen, this led to a lot of people needing in-depth analysis about the phenoms, devil fruits, and characters that they have been enjoying through Oda's unique writing style. And GrandLineReview's channel served as a school to learn more about the wonderful world of One Piece. Liam's channel just happened to fix a lot of One Piece related problems. He had found a void in the market. I think it's also important to mention that one of Liam's strongest attributes is the ability to foresee the YouTube metas and having the balls to try new things. He once said, if you're doing the same thing on your YouTube channel that you was doing 6 months ago, you're doing something wrong. At the time, every every other creator was cluttering their channels with a variety of topics and styles, Liam was one of the first people to niche down and niche down hard. Up until the 2010s, a lot of YouTubers would post a wide variety of topics on their channels: reviews, vlogs, commentaries, reactions, etc. But over the years, YouTube really started pushing the recommended feature, which hurt a lot of these legacy channels. The same people who like an 8-minute chapter review may not want to see a 3-hour stream of you talking about your day. Click-through rates became more important, and these older style channels were dropping fast. A lot of them faded into obscurity, but someone like Liam, who didn't just niche down to one subject like anime, but a specific show, became highly favored by the algorithm. Using similar methods, he was even able to replicate this success a second time on his next channel, Hunter x Hunter. But not all of Liam's projects would work out. Team Pokemart. This was Liam's third channel that never broke 20k subscribers. It's now a dead channel, and trust me, I know that it's still an impressive amount of subscribers. I'm sitting at 2,000, so 20k kind of seems like a dream. Unlike his One Piece channel where he was ahead of the wave, Team Pokemart was an attempt to enter the world's most popular franchise. His videos got swallowed up by the same algorithm that helped build his previous channels. But between 2016 and 2023, Liam's GrandLineReview channel has seen consistent growth, even blasting past 1 million subscribers, earning him his own treasure, the coveted gold play button. But with more views comes more problems. So let's get to some controversies. If you've learned anything or been enjoying this video so far, it would be amazing if you could leave me a like on this video. My like goal for this video will be 516, which I know might be too ambitious, but it's just one more than my most liked video, and this one took twice the effort. I did love every minute of it, but I don't think my boss did, so it may have cost me my job, but breaking my like record would definitely make it worth it. Liam often finds himself entangled in some kind of Reddit or Twitter feud. One Piece Reddit seems to have a disdain for the new direction of GrandLineReview. Threads like "Bring back the old GrandLineReview" garners 2.2k upvotes, and others like "The old GrandLineReview died a long time ago." But what does that mean? What is the old GrandLineReview? Over the past few years, Liam has attempted to add more personality to his channels and move away from the strictly descriptive based content. In short, some people miss his fact-based analysis content. Liam has seen his critiques and addressed it, stating the reason he stopped was simple: it just got boring. He basically was just reading definitions like some sort of One Piece themed Quizlet. He needed to make content that fueled his creative needs. Additionally, he explained the reason he canceled One Piece 101, that with One Piece being so long, character breakdown videos quickly became outdated. With all the twists in One Piece, these videos are basically anti-evergreen videos. So he slowly moved towards personality and opinion-based content, which some fans did not like. But if you review his videos addressing these critiques, the majority of the comments love this new direction. Liam, I'm a huge fan of how your humor has evolved. It genuinely made your videos more enjoyable. Don't listen to the trolls, do you? The new content allows for people to feel more connected to him as a personality. This is a key to creating loyal fans that grow with you wherever your content takes you. He's only started showing his face less than 2 years ago, and in that short amount of time, his subscribers has doubled. Alright guys, GrandLineReview versus Mr. Moores versus JD Legend. Liam has often laced his videos and Twitter feeds with his personal griefs about One Piece, internet culture, and other creators, but this has led to numerous Reddit threads and Twitter wars revolving around his opinions, which leads us to the goofy pirate comic incident. Liam has often been accused of being condescending, including references he's made towards One Piece. He has described the shonen in a way that a lot of fans find belittling, like him often referring to it as a goofy pirate comic. This ultimately became a meme. The phrase is often used in One Piece debates as a weapon for someone to stop taking One Piece so serious. He sprinkled the phrase through several videos and tweets, but on January 18, 2022, an all-out battle of One Piece creators and their followers began, each creator acting as a captain spearheading a heated debate between their followers. It all started with Mr. Moores, a YouTuber known for his deep plot analysis and art breakdowns. Mr. Moores took to Twitter to discuss his frustration about the Wano arc not living up to its potential. He said, "I should drop the opinion that Wano is actually going to have a story, that it's going to actually follow a basic narrative structure or dramatic setup, midpoint, or payoff. I still believe in this arc though." This prompted Liam to swiftly quote the tweet saying, "It does have a story, just not the one you want. It's actually a fun read when you don't pile insane expectations onto it, just like the rest of the goofy pirate comic." This resulted in a slew of tweets accusing Liam of trashing the series, the one that built his channel. Fans are starting to wonder if GrandLineReview even respects One Piece as much as they assumed he did, or is this just a job to him? To a lot of people, One Piece is much more than a typical manga or anime. It's an emotional roller coaster that has been with them for most of their lives. JD Legend let his feelings known shortly after this exchange. Jay is a One Piece streamer, reactor, and reviewer who occasionally dabbles in the zahaha of a certain black-bearded pirate. Jay said, "One Piece, a story with multiple horrific accounts of slavery, racism, cannibalism, infanticide, and suggested things that happened to Hancock and Lola. It being called a goofy pirate comic just doesn't sit right with me, insinuating that reducing something as complex as One Piece to just a goofy fun time is demeaning." A fan responded to Jay saying that, "Wait, what doesn't sit right with you? One Piece Piece is most definitely a goofy pirate comic. One of the best things about One Piece is how it manages these different tones and subjects while still being a goofy pirate comic. Jay clapped back, letting him know that my point is it's not just a goofy pirate comic, and he never really added Liam in any of this. Liam did feel hit and accused Jay of misrepresenting his point. Now, transparently, I can see both of their points of view. Liam holds the belief that although One Piece is a beautifully complex story that follows a lot of the Shakespearean comedic tragedy tropes or touches on a lot of deeper subjects, it's important to remember that at its core, it's still primarily just a fun ride, that it will always stay in its lane, and if people would just enjoy it for what it is and don't hold it to impossibly high standards, they would enjoy it more. This is echoed in a recent tweet by Liam where he said, people shouldn't expect Oda to be some kind of manga Scorsese. And then you have Jay seeing things perpendicularly, that yes, One Piece is a fun time, but the amount of details that Oda puts into the nuances, character development, tragic backstories, and mysteries as a master world builder leaves One Piece deserving of a certain level of respect, and weaponizing that phrase to tell people to stop taking it so serious is antagonistic by nature. I would like to add that goofy may be causing a clash of cultures. In the United States, goofy is often used as a synonym for lame. We use it to mean loser. Rappers use it to diss their enemies as the ultimate disrespect. So even if GrandLine means it by the strictest definition, it might be getting taken the wrong way by his American fans. Although he's Australian, most of the reviewers come from the States. This wasn't the last of Liam's Twitter entanglements. Liam has had a 10-month feud with One Piece theorist Joe Three Skulls. It started with Joe calling out O'Hara, another One Piece creator, for his clickbaity tactics and overall disappointment in how a lot of big YouTubers operate. Liam admittedly jumped in this himself to defend O'Hara,
which I should note was originally about a post made by O'Hara, nothing to do with me, I just rudely butted in here.
Liam's point is that Joe, being a Twitter-only creator, does not know the ins and outs of YouTube, and that his reasonings for his griefs are being pulled out of his gaping anus. Joe's point is anime YouTubers shouldn't clickbait, that through good content and hard work, their videos will grow anyway, even with less clickable titles. He also threw some mud himself, calling Liam a piece of shit and also accusing him of making subpar generic content. Besides that, both creators kind of made some decent points, but I personally just feel like it wasn't worth it. There was no way for Liam to come out on top in this scenario. All the topics Joe was bringing up are things that a lot of viewers agree on about the average anime creators. Arguments about spoilers and clickbaits have been going on since the dawn of YouTube. Defending it kind of makes you feel a little out of touch, even if you're making good points. I mean, Liam's right, people do click clickable titles more, but it's hard for him to argue this point when Liam has his own threads accusing him of these similar things. Reddit posts like GrandLineReview, try not to clickbait challenge, impossible. I'll leave my thoughts about clickbait for a future video because it's a very nuanced topic. Joe also accused Liam of being a bully and causing a lot of harassment on his page since Liam is so much bigger than him. And even though Liam didn't want him to, it's something you gotta kind of be aware of when you have a really big following and you debate smaller creators. Now, most of Liam's subscribers did side with him, but it's the little things like this that give his haters more ammo and can cause cracks in his armor. But as of now, GrandLineReview is still the king of One Piece 2, but I'm coming for the title. What do you think of GrandLineReview, and what anime creator should my next video be about?